is lifting me higher. Hey, y'all, come on in. It's great to see you.
We are off to dance class today with 345 Soap.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
We are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. Your chair is always open. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres, why, come on in the live chat and meet the Whiff Pack, a cool group of folks hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you, too.
They would. And for our mention today, we have been showing you some of the razors we have in our den. And today's razor is the Bison by Carve.
Y'all, an absolute favorite. We've got about 12 razors in our collection, and there are a few that if I don't use them at least once a week, I get cranky. It's in the Arctic colorway, which I waited for last December. It's an amazing razor, y'all. The architecture on this handles my curves beautifully. I can get right here under my nose. It's a delight to load. I just love this thing, and you use it too.
I do. I actually use this a lot more than I thought I would. When I first tried it, I wasn't sure how to get the angle, and now I feel like it's one of my go-tos.
So thank you, Carve, for making this one. And what is our soap today?
Our soap today is very close to my heart because it's actually a ballet term. It's Relevé from 345.
Well, let's meet it. All right, y'all, from the sales page at 345soap.com.
Relevé. The scent is fresh bergamot, sweet caramel, raspberry, and vanilla cream.
Y'all, when it starts bergamot, you think you're about to dive into a normal shave soap, and then it takes a right turn into Marcus territory.
Yep. It's my first time venturing into a shave soap geared towards a female scent.
Nice.
I wanted to do something for my daughters who are now starting to shave. I wish I had this when I started shaving. My goodness.
You had the opposite experience. We'll get to that later.
I thought I could continue to bridge my soap hobby with them and have them be involved. How cool!
Y'all, this is not the first one that commemorates his daughter's love of dance. One of the very first 345 soaps we did was Apotheosis, and this is beautiful. An homage to the Nutcracker itself. I can smell the sugar plums, and I can smell Drosselmeyer's cologne. A beautiful soap that blew our skirts way up when we did this episode.
And it's not just for Christmas time, y'all. I reach for this often.
So how excited are we to see that not only are his kiddos continuing their journey in dance, but they're having an effect on the shave soaps themselves. Let's open the box.
As soon as I saw the term Relevé as I was scrolling on Instagram, I reached out immediately to John and I was like, how do we get this? I want to make sure it's in our lineup. And he was so sweet and sent this whole box to us.
For free. Y'all, tribute, thank you so much for believing in our little show and sending this out. That looks bigger than one soap.
I was just thinking that.
I wonder
it's
what
kind of
else
heavy.
he might have put in there, but let's find out.
If I can get it open. Oh, there we go. Oh,
y'all, there's a note! Hey, hello. Hope you like it. Enjoy from John. And they put the stamp on the bottom. Thank you so much. Okay. Whoa, y'all.
Digging in.
Wait a minute. There's some
there's
stuff.
a lot of pink. How fun.
What is this? Hold on. This is a splash.
Oh, right.
Oh, this is it. This is relevant.
Oh, there's a little dancer on the front. How perfect.
That is beautiful.
And then there's some more in here. Keep opening.
Hold on.
Oh, I should have done a video on my point shoes for y'all. Maybe I will.
Y'all, I think
No
it's
way!
an EDP for us to try. Thank you, John. We are so excited. We went on to buy the Dink EDP today, but it was sold out for now, so we'll come back for that one later. But we get to try this one. Oh, y'all, talk about perfect friends. This is a potted trio. All right, well, it is time. Curtain up, light the lights, sit back and relax, and put your programs under your seat, because we are about to have a first impression. And tell the folks at home, what exactly is a relevé?
So I just came from teaching ballet myself, and when I'm teaching my littles, there's often confusion between two terms. We have élevé and relevé. Élevé goes straight up and down like an elevator. A relevé, you bend your knees before you go up and down. So here's a little video demonstrating an élevé and a relevé.
So when they say a scent is elevated, they mean it. That is a beautiful label.
I just realized there's a moon behind her, and she's like up
moon.
in the clouds. So that song you sang at the beginning actually is really fun.
Hey, there you go.
All right, are we time for our first?
It's time. Take it in. Let me know what you get.
Okay. Oh, it's a darker pour. There's definitely some vanilla.
Maybe
Let's talk about
some
something
vanilla
here.
hiding in there, oxidized
All right.
on top. Who knows?
Diving in.
Okay, here we go. And 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah? What do you get?
You know, we don't have something like this in our den. When we were reading like a sweet caramel, I kind of thought I had it in mind, but there is like a powdered sugar kind of fun thing happening here. Oh. Hold on. Oh. And I don't know if we have anything that uses raspberry like this. Right. I feel like if I was a young teen starting to shave, this is the one I would want in my den.
Hey, mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. The pink on the outside and the ballet pink tights and shoes is very fitting for this. So it doesn't have a pink scent, but I can definitely tell there's a younger feminine side to this.
Nice.
But the gourmandy spin on things, I feel like is still more inclusive. Like if you wanted to use this, I don't think it's too feminine.
Right.
It's just more on that fun, to me, nostalgia side. But to a young girl, this would be totally up their lane.
And y'all, we've all got kiddos. We've all got nieces. Every lady I know is a wet shaver. I haven't seen an Epa lady for 30 years. What a perfect gift to give your daughter when she's at that age.
It has just the amount of sweetness it should.
Right.
Like, I feel like if I was a young girl, and like if you could think of a fruity kind of bubblegum flavor going on, but there's something in this as I take a whiff that it really does feel like it's going up, or the Relevé is a fitting term. Like there's just something vertical about this scent.
Right, we did have that experience with Dark Necessities, where when I got in that elevator and I expected it to go down, it didn't. It rocketed me up into the lighter scent notes. So that might be an actual legit thing, of feeling like you're either being elevated or descended down into the depths of the dark notes.
It reminds me of days in grade school when I would have had fun at dance the night before, and I'm sitting in my desk daydreaming about the dance combo in my mind, not paying attention in class. But there's just something about that freeing, like artistic, dancey kind of spirit that really is coming through this. I could be just because of the label and the name, but the scent alone is taking me back to those years where I was tapping my feet under my desk or not kind of paying attention, but not. I've been dancing since I was like maybe 4 or 5, so it's been in my life a long time. So even through college, I probably did this too.
Well, you majored in dance in college, so I would hope so. I love you so much. I used to write out my theater lyrics during class when I got bored in a notebook, just so I'd help memorize them for the show that weekend.
And I think when I got to college, I was probably choreographing dances in my head. I wasn't just repeating them. But nowadays, I video the dance for my kiddos, and they can go watch and practice at home on YouTube. They have it easy.
So what scent notes are jumping out? Is there a central scent note?
I think it, for me, bounces back and forth more between the raspberry side, and it's a fresh, like vibrant raspberry. I feel like I just got the box out of the fridge. They're ready. But then it jumps into that sweet caramel, which my brain is getting more of a powdered sugar caramel. Like it's not the caramel together. It's almost like you just made the caramel somehow.
Right. In the vast expanse of desserts that we got in this country, I don't think I've ever had raspberry with caramel, but I can't wait. I mean, with a milkshake, maybe? Like a caramel drizzle on top? But why don't we? That sounds like a fabulous combination.
And they're working here. Like, I'm bouncing back and forth. I think the bergamot is just keeping it brighter and lighter, and whatever those other scent notes, they don't pull it dark, but it's just enough to have a sort of base to then keep going up front.
Gotcha. Like a burnt sugar or something, maybe?
I don't know if it says burnt. The caramelized side, to me, at least here, off the puck, my brain, if I hadn't read sweet caramel, I think wants it to be like a more powdered sugary kind of a vibe.
Well, we experienced a little bit of that powdered sugarness in the Carnival Americana soap from 345 that blew my skirt all the way up on my birthday last year. Y'all, better than a funnel cake in real life is how that smells.
I'm actually looking forward to be able to smell this in the splash and the EDT later, because I think it's going to really help translate what those scents are.
I love gourmands in splashes and EDPs. I'm not sure why, except that clear liquid is not supposed to smell like apples and cinnamon kind of thing, but it really does. I don't know, something like that. All right, let me take a dive into this and see what I can find.
I'm actually excited because spring is almost here, and to me, I'm getting more that side somehow. That time of year, maybe the fun of it.
The iconic raspberry we've got in our collection is American Amber from Razor Emporium. You'd think that was going to be amber. Oh, nay, that is more raspberry and vanilla ice cream in the middle of that. So here we go.
See what you
think. I am a fan. Chin chin.
That was fast.
Huh.
Right? Like, she would smell like that, I think.
Oh, y'all. This is so not what I was expecting, and so much better than I ever could have conceived.
Yep.
Hold on. I just opened the door. Hold on. Well, the funny thing is, the gourmands are so beautiful and so feminine that the reason you're seeing confusion on my face is my brain actually went off and went, wait a minute, is this gourmand? Or is this the most beautiful floral you have ever smelled in your life? And I'm not sure how that crossover is happening because I have never wanted to pop a gardenia into my mouth. But wait a minute, there is just something about how it's been balanced that I am getting way more floral than I am ice cream bar. And I'm loving this. Hold on. Well, it's almost like they're making a picture of a raspberry sundae using rose petals. It's like the Rose Bowl parade. Oh. Because my nose goes all the way up like, is this floral? Is this floral? Is this floral? And right where the floral would be identifying itself, it takes a nosedive and it goes back into the sugars and into the caramels and into the sweets. There's not just a little movement in this, y'all. It goes all the way up to the high dive and then down into that tiny little container of water.
It's a full dance.
It's a recital that's going on in here. And it doesn't get as sweet as I thought it would. Yeah. Like for some gourmands, when you hear raspberry, vanilla, caramel kind of thing, you set your expectations for sweet. But the heart of this is what takes over. It's allowing it to be the raspberry. It's allowing it to be the caramel before the sense of sweet takes over. Because sometimes that sense of sweet can be too syrupy. Yeah. It can be too strong and you start missing out on the subtle nuances of those scent notes. And this lets them breathe.
There's like a tender side to this. I don't want to say innocent,
right?
But there's just something a little more tender about it.
The opposite of a Jack the Ripper scent. Yeah, Disney makes a mint selling EDPs for kids that are licensed from their characters. This is what I would absolutely expect a Disney princess to smell like.
I think she'd smell like this, don't you think?
And the funny thing is, boys, if you think this is going to be too girly to shave with, it's not. And I think that's how the magic is being done. Is it feminine? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's a raspberry sundae. And you want one of those.
It's fun because I feel like we have the dad perspective still. Like on, like he helped make it. So there's both sides to this scent.
I feel like because it is a dad, he can focus on the sweetness that he finds in them without it having to be overly feminine to his nose.
Right.
So that he would still want to wear this. Yeah.
So now that the warm-up is over, it is time to learn the routine. So why don't you come along with us to see these scent notes?
All right, y'all, back to the sales page at 345. So in my brain just caught a glimpse of fresh bergamot. It made a ton of assumptions and went, okay, lavender, there's probably all this other stuff's going to be in here. Okay, I think I got it.
Florally, whatever.
Right. But as soon as you kept reading, I was like,
right? These go Marcus.
So after bergamot is
sweet caramel.
Love that.
Which I like that it's not too dark. It is a sweeter caramel.
And anytime an artisan wants to put an adjective with a scent note, I am all about it because it means more work was done there. And then
raspberry. And it's a fresh, zesty raspberry, don't you think?
And you know what? It's not a full raspberry scent. So y'all, if you think you know from the beginning to the end what a raspberry scent is, there's been an ice cream scooper applied to that and only a part of that raspberry, the heart, the more candied part is in here. The tart part of the raspberry, because let's face it, raspberry can elicit a grapefruit face sometimes. A little bit bitter, a little bit tart, part of its charm. Not here. And it's not that it's artificial or has been candied. No. Just the heart of that raspberry sense has been brought to the surface.
Like a raspberry sorbet. Like it's the nicer, yummy sides, if that could make sense.
Exactly that. Because you can still get a sense of the heart meaty, like muddled fruit in there. And then finally, again, I'm calling this an adjective. It's not just vanilla, it's
vanilla cream. So that's almost, it was an approaching a lactonic thing, and I think that's why my brain got a powdered sugar. Something creamy, and that's
a beautiful lactonic. And if you want my skirt to be permanently attached to the ceiling, throw a good lactonic at me. Think Space Nog? You think that's a Christmas soap? We both wore it this week. And I think it's time to build a big old glorious bowl of raspberry sorbet.
So we thought these colors were fitting. This is my Vanilla custom honeycomb bowl with the pink magic here.
That is how much soap I'm going to use. And look at that. Look how oxidized the surface is. We got vanilla in here, folks.
And then this is my strawberry shortcake brush that Craig from Opus custom made for me. So we can pretend it's raspberry instead of strawberry.
Love that. And I'm not going to push the soap too far into those divots because this Vanilla bowl holds onto it really well. And Craig tells us not to soak the brush. I know, it's Badger. I know. Send your complaints to support@opusbrush.
And then you take your brush, you sneak it on in there, and we're going one direction just to get the soap on the bristles here. And then you go back the other direction, and then you turn the brush and go again. One way, and the other way.
Push down, go backbone into the conversation.
And then we turn it again.
And just a little bit of that ancillary water is going to wet the bristles just fine for you to start building a yogurt. I don't like to start with frothy Cool Whip and stir down to a yogurt. I kind of like to start with a yogurt.
A few moments later.
Just getting it out of these little honeycombs here.
And just about the time you've got as much soap that you could load onto those bristles without causing a major injury, go down and grab the rest of that water, and then take it to the face, take it to the legs, or
It's waking up.
anywhere you don't want hair.
I have to say, the bergamot side is jumping out with this water. Let me just say.
I feel like I've been ignoring the poor bergamot because I've been diving into the raspberry sorbet caramel side of this. Hold on
At
a
least
second.
here it's almost more of like a sour raspberry.
No,
Something
you know what it
woke up.
is? You know what it is? It's a sweet dad character in the picture. Every shaving soap we've got that guys love starts with bergamot. Tell me I'm lying. So that's what's happening. The bergamot is the dad standing backstage watching his daughters, because that's why it's so different. Because when I
Right.
see caramel, raspberry, vanilla cream, kind of the last thing you'd expect to be thrown into that mix is a freaky lime. That's the dad side. And the rest are him being proud of his kiddos on stage.
I know we never talk about lather, but this was like the fastest soap to lather up. It
Y'all,
is ready,
This
y'all.
3, 4, 5 base is no joke. Very well respected in the wet shaving world. And he's one of the only artisans that has a subscription available that we have been ignoring, but we need to investigate that a little more. All right, so this is something you will only find here on the Barbershop Duet. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8 count on 3. 1, 2. Oh.
There's a jump.
Oh, this is a little more concentrated, a little sweeter, but that's a little more real.
The volume got turned up a little on the vibrancy here.
Very
Like
beautiful.
I think the raspberry meeting the bergamot side.
Right.
That's a little, not like a sour candy, but there's just a little more fun
But there's
happening.
more magic in where those scent notes are coming together. Hold on a
Let's take
second.
a
Let me
whiff of
see
that.
this. Oh. Oh, a little creamy center in there beyond what's happening with the vanilla. This is lovely. Oh, benzoin hiding under the
It's
surface.
there's layers to this scent, y'all.
There's some other secrets hiding in here, I think. And I know we never talk about lather, but y'all, you seeing this. Sometimes gourmands, for me, hit a very interesting lane of I don't want to eat it, but it's definitely a gourmand, and
Yeah.
it has an elevated level of charm to it when that happens. Like, we're going to take gourmandy scent notes. We're going to turn up stuff about them, but it's not the parts of them that you necessarily want to go, ma, 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 ma.
Yeah.
It's the parts of them that are more appealing to the nose than the taste buds. And I hope that makes sense. But there are certain citruses, there are certain umami sort of flavors. Coffee, for example, that's generally way more palatable to the nose than it is to the tongue. Give it to a 9-year-old and watch their face. Really funny. Except my friend Jason, but constant viewers know he was weird.
It kind of reminds me of walking by your friend's ice cream shop, and you get a whiff of
Yes.
like a real waffle cone meeting all the flavors, like as the door opens.
That's it.
And you can't help but go in.
If you are anywhere near the city of Walnut Creek, California, drop into Lottie's and say hi to my friend Alex. He even makes their marshmallows in-house. The waffle cones, fresh made every morning. It's
That
a
whiff.
magical place. Yep. And he even makes sorbets just for you because
Yep.
you can't have dairy. Chocolate sorbet. It's been done. And y'all, we love watching Mark Zarate coat his face with that lather, but we don't do shaving here on the Barbershop Duet, so we do figure out that you might want to see how that lather
Look
coats
lather.
the face. I just feel like the world's greatest painter right now. I can't even feel the bristles anymore. Look at this.
I'm actually really glad I have to shave today. I could bust
Right,
this out.
yes. And here's the other thing. I guess this kind of goes on with my last point. It doesn't get crazy gourmandy, which would mean it would get crazy sweet. And I think the more actual gourmandy it gets, the more sort of novelty it gets. This has taken a U-turn, kind of like Jack's did last week. Not just Cracker Jacks. There's a wood in there. There's a cedar in there. There's musk in there. Y'all, this is not just the gourmand it alludes to. Yes, everything about that gourmand has all of the charm of raspberry vanilla you're expecting. But there is more magic.
Yeah, this
than
is not a scratch and sniff sticker.
Oh,
There are
no.
layers and depths to this
Right.
scent.
And y'all, if you wore this in a boardroom, I don't think people would identify this as a ballerina inspired soap. I think you would just be sensed as a clean, friendly type of guy. But we can do a little more research when we take this a slight bit deeper.
I don't know if I ever thought I would have a ballet-inspired soap and splash and full set. Everything's
Right?
so masculine and kind of fun. Like, it's kind of finally one for me.
Well, not the beginning of our journey, because who knows where the boundaries are in this world. But now that we've been in it for a couple of years, the width and breadth of this, I would be surprised if there's not a funeral director inspired. Actually, there has been.
There is.
Mysteries and wonders. What the funny thing is for me is if you saw this bottle on our bathroom counter and you didn't know what it was,
Right.
what would you think this was?
Right? Maybe like a face oil or something. Like, if it's supposed to be more feminine, I don't know if you'd think right away that it's a splash, but
All
I'm
right.
down.
So there may be more mysteries and wonders
Let's
hiding
see.
in the splash because the soap itself is more of a one-dimensional dry-down scent. Oh,
Oh, the
And
bergamot thing.
I just shaved. You're right. The bergamot jumps out first and prominently. That's beautiful.
That creamy vanilla is no joke.
Oh, and as this dries, that's where the magic's happening. It's funny, when it goes on, it's almost entirely bergamot.
And then it takes a jump. I almost get a smell. So when you get your point shoes, they have like a brand new smell.
Right.
And inside, they are made with fancy leathers and different things and canvases.
Right.
And there is something in the raspberry. I think it's my brain playing a joke on me because we were just talking about how raspberry and leather are often interchangeable.
Yes, in the perfuming world, the molecule is almost
Yeah.
identical.
And there's something about, I'm sure his girls know, getting your first pair of point shoes, which is a giant deal. And you got to sew on all your things. So you spend time with that up in
And
your
you
face
basically
sewing.
have to destroy them in
Yeah.
order to use them.
So there's something in the nostalgia for me that brought out that experience.
Right. And when I did Hairspray, I had to do a bunch of dances from the 60s in high-heeled shoes. There's not a shoe made in America that can handle that and not break a heel off in the middle of my sea pony. So I had to get LaDuca shoes. They're made in Italy. They're what everybody on Broadway wears. They're about $400. But that is way better than snapping a heel in front of 1,200 people. And you are right. Something about the suede of the sole, the leather of the shoe. Y'all, I'm not kidding. It was a 3-inch character shoe, but it felt like I was wearing bunny slippers. And they still, I keep them in case La Cage aux Folles comes back. They still smell incredible.
My point shoes do not.
We keep them in a special box outside.
It's funny because I grew up dancing more jazz, tap. Ballet was added on later. So there is a fun picture of me. I'm sure I can find it in my first class with all of us in our point shoes. And it was a very big deal, like to be on point.
Right.
And it's ENPOINT. Fun fact. So it's not like you're pointing.
It's not on point.
It's not on. It's, yeah.
On point.
On point. So it was a very big deal. And I didn't even realize, like, most of my friends when I got to college, they grew up at studios that were only doing ballet. So they did Nutcrackers, they did all that stuff. So it's fun to have both sides of that experience. And then when I got to college, I did do a full-on production of a ballet, which was kind of fun to put that on my resume. So for me, I've done all styles of dance.
Right.
So I think now when I teach ballet, I kind of teach ballet for non-ballerinas. Anyone is welcome in my class. I have 4-year-olds. I have 70-year-olds in my ballet class, so everyone's welcome. But I love that ballet can be all-encompassing, that there's something that we can just vibe together. Yeah. So even if I go drop into a drop-in ballet class, there'll be older retired ballerinas in there still dancing. You can keep dancing after. Most of my jazz teachers have all have hip replacements, and they're not still dancing.
And y'all, it is time for us to explore this most beautiful EDP that John sent. Do you want to go first?
I do. It's 30 milliliters.
Nice.
Wow.
Full ounce.
Okay. I wish I could have had this in my dance bag growing up. So after class, I could spree this on before going to college
would
class.
you be in ballet class to have that afterwards?
I was the weirdo in college. After class, we'd strap ice to my knees and my ballet shoes and tights are hanging out my backpack and I'm on my way to history or English class. And I'm like, yep, I'm that girl. Wake it up.
There we go. Oh,
that's
very nice.
a good little atomizer fun. Oh, Lenny woke up for that.
Yeah, it must be.
How's that
Woke up
smell?
the dog. All right, here we go. Oh, there's quite a dry down adventure.
Yeah.
Are you sensing this? Where it's starting and then where it's going?
It's funny that bergamot into the raspberry is still there.
That's just it.
And then the sweet caramel and the creamy vanilla side, like all of those scents are still in here. Like if you dive in to smell one, the others just have a different way of leading or taking the lead of the dance here.
And that's what I love. This is the farthest thing from a scratch and sniff novelty sticker I can imagine. This is a lovely grown-up scent of childhood memories.
But I really feel like on a crowd-pleasing scale, it still has that fun, like, daydreaming side somehow.
Right,
and I think we all can understand what that's like.
Oh, yeah, nowadays.
But you would still wear this, right? It's not too feminine to you.
That's the thing. I don't think this would read feminine if it was coming from a guy. There's a lecture coming from me in one of the episodes ahead, but it has to do with perception versus reality. I think if you had a shave soap where you switched the lids and you had a totally different expectation of what you were about to smell, it would smell terrible. But then put the right lid on it and see what you're about to smell correctly, and you'll love it. So I think there's a lot more to our sense of smell connected to our brain than we at first realized. But my point is, I think if you were to sense this and the picture you got with it was a lovely guy in a lovely charcoal suit with a pocket square and some shiny shoes, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
But I think this would be a lovely scent to wear to a board meeting.
I think the other part that's very cool about this is the intention behind it.
Absolutely.
Like, I would love to know my dad made a scent and created a soap and a shave and all that I could have to shave with.
There is one coming from Adopted Acres to commemorate one of his kiddos' birthdays.
Yeah.
It's those little things that we love about this world.
I feel like we all can agree that most of the coolest dads have somehow found wet shaving.
That's it. That's why I think I found this hobby. It's where all the cool dads are. So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Fanny Bryce auditioning for Mr. Keeney at his theater. He's going to have a spot available for you in the show tomorrow night. But there's just one question. We know you can dance. We know you can do ballet, but can you roller skate? And when she says, "Can I roller skate?" a star was born and she got her own. So head over to 345soap.com to check out this and a wide range of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Relevé. We both have, but why is Marcus sitting here and Sarah not reviewing this part? Well, I'll tell you. I wanted to see how this would wash over a masculine palate, and it did so absolutely beautifully. I needed both faces. I needed the floral and I needed the raspberry vanilla gourmands to come together during the shave. But as the scent wore down, I was left with a beautiful sense of a masculine, clean, creamy floral, and the gourmand faded delicately, leaving that sense of clean on my shoulder, ready for a nice day out. Thank you, 345. We will be back. Hey, welcome to Messages.
So for our March giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get $25 to make Duff Soap Company.
And it's in Canadian dollars. How fun is that? All you have to do is send us an email here to WeSankWith@barbershopduet.com so we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways. And then check back here on our first April episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck. It's fun because all my dancers' costumes are coming in this week, and my itty bitties that are like 5, I have tomorrow morning, and they get to have purple tutus. It's a big deal.
Well, you know what's cool about this? Apotheosis is more about the 6 or 7-year-old. I smell it in here. I smell the Nutcracker. I remember what it was like to watch it when I was 7. This is different. This smells like a dancer who's got a few more years under her dance belt. This smells like a dancer who is growing up and is getting ready to take on the world. And I love that there's an innocent quality captured in this and a more serious dancer quality captured in this, albeit a very sweet feminine one.
I do get the feminine kind of side to this, the more gentle, tender things, but I don't feel like it makes it a complete feminine scent. I feel like I would encourage you to get your noses on it only to understand what we're talking about.
Right.
You know?
My first sense was, wow, this was beautiful before I ever thought about gender.
Right. And so I think overall, it's just crowd pleasing. There's something in it that everyone can enjoy, but it is catered to us young ladies getting into shaving. I think this is a perfect soap to have to start your journey.
And John and your family and everyone at 345, thank you for believing in our little show and sending us out this beautiful care package for free to review. We will cherish it and we will keep mentioning this EDP as we get to know it. It is a beautiful thing.
I'm excited to spend more time with it, maybe even shaving today.
And a bedtime set? Would this be perfect? We put them on at bedtime. My sister makes fun of us.
Yeah, don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.